Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, TikTok. It is Wednesday, April the 23rd, and it is 6:30 in the morning. This video is being made at 6:30 in the morning, live on YouTube and TikTok. Every Wednesday, I go live to talk about self-care at work. And I go live at 6:30 in the morning. And some people think that's insane, Belinda. Who is doing a live at 6:30 in the morning? This one, me. I am. I'm doing a live at 6:30 in the morning. Why? Because I am trying to catch people before they get to work. Before they get to work and get started with their work. I'm trying to get them I'm trying to reach people in the morning when they get up, when they are getting ready for work. Maybe they're commuting to work, because I want to make sure I provide them some self-care at work tips so that when they do get to work, when they do clock in, they already have in their mind that they are going to put self-care on their calendar, that they are going to put self-care on their agenda for the day. That's why I get on so early in the morning. That's why. That is why. You may be saying, well, who are you? That's a fair question. Who are you? I'm Belinda Harris, and I am an HR disruptor. I've been in the human resource field a long time. I've seen a lot of things. And burnout seems to be one of the things that is now at the top of the list. And not just burnout for I too have been burnt out. That's why I like to get on and talk about tips and things that you could do, because I know what it feels like to be burnt out at work. And I say it on just about every live, is that the most important person at your job when you get to work, when you clock in, is not the HR person, although they're important. It's not the supervisor. They too are important. But it is you. You are the most important person at your job when you clock in. Why? Because you are responsible for taking care of yourself. And if you can't show up and aren't showing up as your best self, then you can't be productive. You can't be your best self if you're not giving yourself the things that you need. Now, you hear people talk about self-care all the time. They wake up, they journal, they meditate, they ground, they this, they that, they read. We've all heard it. We've heard people who have routines, self-care routines in the evening, in the afternoon. No screens 90 minutes before you go to bed. No this, no that. How many people talk about self-care at work? How many people do self-care at work? Actually, at work? Not that many. And we all need to be practicing that. And so that is why I go live on Wednesday mornings at 6:30 to talk about that. And today I am talking about why rest is productive and how to reclaim your breaks without guilt at work. Because so many of us struggle with that, even though we need it desperately. Like, how many times have you said or you've heard, I'll rest when I'm done? I mean, how many times have we've heard that? Or, I don't have time for a break because I have so much to do. I don't have time. Or, here is my personal favorite. If I stop now, I'll lose momentum. You've heard it. You've heard people say that. Somebody might have said it to you. You might have said those things to somebody else. I'll rest when I'm done. I'm in the middle of something. I don't have time for a break. Or, if I stop now, I'll lose momentum. But the truth is, here's the truth. You are not a machine. And pushing through without rest doesn't make you more productive. It doesn't. It actually leads to burnout, mistakes, and frustration. That's why we're going to talk about why rest is productive and what kind of breaks really do help and how to take them without feeling guilty. Because we may know the type of breaks that we need. We know the type of breaks that may be helpful, but we feel guilty. We feel guilty about taking them. Just last week, I was getting ready to get on a call with someone who's getting HR services. And she said, and I quote, "I'm on my nature break, but I can take the call." And I said, "Well, how is it a break if you're on a call talking about work? When you finish, if when you finish your walk, call me." And she just was like, "You know what? You're right. Absolutely, I'm right." When you go on break, when you go on your nature walks, or when you go to be like, this is my break time, and then you still work, that's not self-care. That's not self-care, because there's a myth that rest equals laziness. Because you always see, if you see somebody resting, a lot of times we think lazy. They're lazy. Is it? Somewhere along the way, we were taught that rest is lazy and hustle is honorable. Somewhere in our lives, that rest is lazy and hustle is honorable. But that mindset is dangerous because it convinces us to work through lunch. Go ahead and work through lunch, or skip your days off. You don't need them. Push through, or ignore your mental and physical exhaustion. That's what that mindset tells us. Rest is lazy, and the hustle is honorable. And when we work through lunch, and when we skip our days off, or if we ignore our mental and physical exhaustion, then that's what we're supposed to do. And over time, we start to wear burnout like a badge of honor. Right? How many of us, I didn't have lunch today. I pushed through. Like it's a badge. Did your work give you an extra bonus for skipping your lunch? Who here work gives them extra bonuses or money or recognition for not taking days off, or ignoring that you're exhausted, both mentally and physically? What job, I'll wait, what job out there does that? None. And over time, we wear these badges, this burnout, as a badge of honor. But the truth is, rest is not laziness, it's leadership over my energy. Think about that. Rest is not laziness, it's leadership over my energy. Because when you rest, you don't fall behind, you refuel. Because a lot of us, I too felt that. I don't have time to rest because then I'll get behind. But the truth is, when you rest, you don't fall behind, you refuel. Think about your phone. All of us, everybody and their mama has a phone, right? You wouldn't expect your phone to go all day and night without recharging. Nobody. Nobody expects it. Everybody at night plugs their phone in to recharge so it'll be ready for the next day. It's the same with you. Rest helps you make better decisions. It helps you be more creative. It helps you communicate more clearly. It helps you to work smarter, not harder. My best work comes from a well rested mind. Think about it. When you get a good night's sleep, get rest, you come in refreshed. You can hit the pavement. You can hit that task. You're not exhausted. Rest is so important. It's refuel. Just like you don't expect your cell phone to go all day and all night without charging it up. It's the same with you. It's the exact same. Now, you think, okay, I got that. I'll go to bed early at night. What does that have to do with work? I got you. Because rest at work doesn't mean taking a nap under your desk, right? I'm not saying that you take your break and you go under your desk and you take a nap. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is rest is mental rest, which is step away from complex tasks. Do something simple or creative for a few minutes. Mental rest. Physical rest. Stretch, walk, breathe, let your body reset. These are things you can do at work. Digital rest. Step away from screens. No emails, no scrolling, just pause. Sensory rest, where you reduce the noise, you lower the lights, you put your phone on do not disturb. And emotional rest, where you talk to someone you trust and you let yourself feel instead of bottling it up. Because a lot of times we hold it in, we bottle it up, our emotion. Emotional rest at work is talk to someone you trust and let yourself feel instead of bottling it up. There are many ways to rest, and all of them are valid. Now, I've told you some different types of rest: mental, physical, digital, sensory, emotional. Now, I'm going to talk about how to rest without that guilt, because we do feel guilty. You do feel guilty, like I really should be, or you think about all the work that you have to do. You feel kind of bad taking a pause or taking a break. But taking breaks might feel wrong because we are so used to busyness. But guess what? You don't have to earn your rest. Why? Because you need it. You deserve it. We feel like we have to earn our rest, and you don't. You need it. You deserve it. So instead of saying to yourself today, I want somebody to try this today. Instead of saying I'm slacking, I want you to say I'm recharging so I can keep going. Not I'm slacking, I'm recharging so I can keep going. Instead of saying I don't have time, I want you to say this break is part of my workflow. And if anyone questions it, tell them I take breaks so I can bring my best, not what's left. Right? You don't want to give them your leftovers. You don't want to just always be left. You take breaks so you can bring your best, not just what's left. I want you to think about this when you're at work. When you're at work and you're taking your breaks, I refuse to feel guilty for honoring my limits. I refuse to feel guilty for honoring my limits. A few ways you can make rest part of your routine, because you may be thinking, how I'm going to fit it in. Okay, Belinda, all that sounds wonderful. How am I going to fit that in? Okay. Schedule a 5-minute break every hour or every 90 minutes. Put a timer on your watch or on your phone. There's apps for it. Every hour, every 90 minutes, schedule a 5-minute break. That's one thing that you could do. Actually step away for lunch. Don't eat at your desk. That's hard for a lot of people. Block out 15 minutes in the middle of the day for a reset walk. 15 measly minutes. You got it. You can find 15 minutes in your day for a reset walk. And like I told that person, that reset walk wasn't being on the phone with me talking about work. That's not a reset walk. A reset walk is you're not doing any work. You're walking. You're taking in the scenery, the fresh air. Maybe you're listening to music, but you're not working. And then create a calming end of the day ritual. So at the end of the day, create something that closes out the day. Stretch, breathe, journal, unplug. Small pauses create big results. And it's hard if you're not used to practicing self-care at work. It's hard to incorporate these things. These things you may look at your schedule and be like, I don't have time. I'm telling you, you have time. You have time for a 5-minute break. You have time to step away for lunch and not eat at your desk. I'm telling you, you have 15 minutes in your day where you can block out for a reset walk. You have that. You have it in your day. I can't even see your calendar and I know you have it. You have time to create a calming end of the day ritual. Small pauses create big results. Rest, rest. If you don't take nothing else from what I'm saying this morning, rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. And there are many kinds of rest. I talked about that. And they all matter. Guilt-free breaks help you to do better at work and feel better doing it. I hope today that you have a wonderful day. I hope that you bring your best self. I hope that you incorporate several self-care at work tools and techniques to utilize today. If you've never tried self-care at work, I hope today is the day that you try one of those things or many of those things today. I hope that it provides you with what you need to keep going, to show up as your best self. Rest is productive, rest is powerful, and rest is part of the plan. I am Belinda Harris. Every Wednesday I go live on YouTube and Instagram to talk about self-care at work at 6:30 in the morning. I hope to see you next Wednesday, and I hope you have a fantastic day.